me you're from a 1950s movie without telling me you're from a 1950s movie.
Holy Christmas! That thing's doing about 4,000.
So, now that the reactor has failed and the engines have been completely destroyed and it's only a limited amount of time before life support systems start to fail, let's pass the time with an old movie. And seeing as, from your perspective, I'm an extraterrestrial, why not watch an old extraterrestrial movie? They gave us a bunch of Earth media in preparation for our visitation. Let's talk about the movie, shall we? I'm excited to put off the existential dread of knowing life support systems are gonna fail any moment now. We're talking about the original The Day the Earth Stood Still Today. Let's get into it.
This is not another flying saucer scare. Scientists and military men are already agreed on that.
See, this is why our flying saucer has cloaking capabilities. When we roll up on y'all, we just want it to be a surprise. We don't want you to know that we're here. That would defeat the whole purpose of a surprise visitation. Yeah. Definitely was not planning an invasion. Nope, not at all.
Here in the nation's capital, there is anxiety and concern. No outward sign of panic. As a matter of fact, there are signs of normalcy. The beautiful spring weather, the tourist crowds, around the public monuments and other buildings.
This movie is part of the reason I was so excited to visit Earth before the engines exploded and killed every single one of the crew, except for myself. And that was the sense that we'd be greeted with peace and normalcy, and not instantaneous panic and threats of war. You know, we just wanted to, drop by peacefully and say hi. This is the part that I'm afraid is going to happen. People are just going to see us floating around in our little saucers, and y'all are just going to panic and run around and scream. It's dangerous to run in all directions while looking up at the sky. You could run into something. That's dangerous. Andromeda engineering at work, folks. You see how smooth that landing was? No impact, no disturbing the ground, 'cause we're here calmly to spread peace and prosperity. No need to be alarmed by our arrival if and when we eventually get to your planet. Okay, guys? Peace, prosperity, and calmness. Police and military escort to make sure that we get out safely and aren't harassed by random passerbys and pedestrians. What a nice gesture. How polite.
We have come to visit you in peace and with goodwill.
This is such an unrealistic depiction of an alien. Look at this man's style. Look at you can't even see his luscious flowing hair. Look at my hair. Look at my hair. Do you know how much time that we aliens put in on our hair? It's gorgeous. This is more than shampoo and conditioner, folks. This takes like at least 30 minutes of straight hairspray to maintain. Totally unrealistic depiction of an alien. Blah. Does this fictional alien need an airtight suit or not? He just reached into what looks like a button-up. Like either you can breathe the air or you can't. Us, personally, there's more than enough carbon dioxide for us to breathe in comfortably. Thank you for terraforming the planet for us, by the way. Much appreciated. Rude! That is clearly a transmorgifier and not a weapon. No reason to shoot him. If one of our species ever comes to your planet, please don't shoot us immediately. Thank you. Why does the medic need such dramatic music? He's just here to attend to the wounded that you shot needlessly. Are you guys this scared by your own field medics? Is there some context that I'm missing? Why are you running and screaming? Don't you know that's dangerous? It's a medical scanner. Oh, I don't think that's a medical scanner. Okay, maybe they should run.
It was a gift for your president. With this, he could have studied life on the other planets.
This This is why you don't shoot aliens on sight. We might have cool stuff.
I want to meet with representatives from all the nations of the Earth.
Our world at the moment is full of tensions and suspicions. In the present international situation, such a meeting would be quite impossible.
What?
Well, surely in the 70 years since this movie came out, the tensions on Earth have subsided and you've figured out how to solve your problems non-violently, right? Right? Surely I'll come to visit a peaceful Earth.
I merely tell you that the future of your planet is at stake. I urge that you transmit that message to the nations of the Earth.
I will make that recommendation to the President.
Surely mankind is capable of banding together if the entire planet was at stake, right? Right, guys?
For hardness and strength, it's out of this world.
I can tell you officially that's where it came from.
That joke was cliche even in the 50s. Can we not? If you think we're capable of intergalactic travel but haven't figured out basic lockpicking, you've lost your damn mind. That's not gonna keep him held in any capacity. You can stop with the dramatic music. No one is surprised.
And I might add that though this man may be our bitter enemy, he could be also a newfound friend.
I mean, that really all depends on how you'll handle our arrival. Are we gonna be friends, or are we gonna be enemies? I don't think you want to be our enemies.
Why doesn't the government do something? That's what I'd like to know.
What can they do? They're only people, just like us.
People my foot. They're Democrats.
That mankind managed to reach outer space in the 60s with horrendous and incomplete math like that. Tragic.
Your planet has discovered a rudimentary kind of atomic energy. We also know that you're experimenting with rockets.
Yes, that is true.
So long as you were limited to fighting among yourselves with your primitive tanks and aircraft, we were unconcerned. But soon, one of your nations will apply atomic energy to spaceships. That will create a threat to the peace and security of other planets. That, of course, we cannot tolerate.
Well, see, now, that's just inaccurate. Human beings don't pose a threat to us. We have black hole bombs. If we wanted to, we could erase your planet. But we choose not to, because we come in peace, Earthlings. So long as you're peaceful in return.
Must I take drastic action in order to get a hearing?
What sort of action do you mean?
Violent action, since that seems to be the only thing your people understand. Leveling New York City, perhaps? Or sinking the Rock of Gibraltar?
No. Personally, I would just detonate a micro-black hole in the Grand Canyon. It'll be a huge display of destructive power without actually harming anyone. I feel like that would be the best approach. Off-camera violence brought to you by the 1950s.
Yabutari Axel Bugletio Berengi Degas.
Hey, don't insult my mother like that.
Perhaps I should be completely honest with you. You see, the electricity's been neutralized all over the world.
As far as we can tell, all power's been cut off everywhere, with a few exceptions. And even these exceptions are remarkable. Hospitals, planes in flight, that sort of thing. I wish I could give you more information, but as you know, all communications are out.
You know, honestly, that's a pretty ingenious plan. Just cutting off the power to the whole world, demonstrating the fact that you have immense power without hurting anybody. I mean, aside from interrupting comments for 30 minutes, honestly, bravo, well done.
I could write my own ticket. I'd be the biggest man in the country.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Why not? Somebody's got to get rid of him.
Homie, I don't think you fully comprehend the power of this alien that you're dealing with. Were you not there when he knocked out the power? He did not have to spare the hospitals and airplanes, my man. And he did not have to turn it back on. You need to understand your place in the universe, friend.
It isn't just you and Mr. Carpenter. The rest of the world is involved.
I don't care about the rest of the world.
Typical human. Tragic.
I'm worried about Gort. I'm afraid of what he might do if anything should happen to me.
Gort, but he's a robot. Without you, what could he do?
There's no limit to what he could do. He could destroy the Earth.
Yeah, it's called insurance. All aliens have it. Just in case y'all do something stupid.
If anything should happen to me, you must go to Gort. You must say these words: Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. Please repeat that.
Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
You must remember those words.
If this was foreshadowing any harder, the scene would be dark. What did I tell you? Honestly, the fact that you thought you could contain Gort in hard plastic is laughable. But if you haven't noticed, I'm not laughing. Now is the time for running. Running time is now. If you run a fade with aliens, your free trial of existence will expire. How did your dumbass manage to back yourself in the only corner in the entire park? How? How did you do that? Like, it's almost impressive how stupid you are. What did you even trip over? This woman straight up tripped over her own fucking stupidity.
Gort, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
You'd sound a lot more impressive and authoritative if you were fucking standing! Just so y'all know, our robots don't have voice commands that just automatically shut them off. When they're on the warpath, they don't stop. Genuine question. Why did you think grabbing a closing automatic door was gonna stop it from closing and allow you to get out? What were you actually thinking? And even if you did get out, you still got to escape Gort, who mercifully decided not to kill you on sight. What was your plan here?
There's no question about it, General. He's dead, all right.
You are all idiots, and you are going to pay dearly for that. This is just sloppy work, Gort. Come on. You could have made a perfect doorway shape with your disintegration ray, but no, you had to be sloppy about it. The lack of professionalism in robots these days. Alright, I lowered the volume just to be nice to you guys, but in the original version, that sound is so loud and so annoying and goes on for far too long, and I have no idea why they did that. Quick tangent, I just really hate resurrection in movies in general. I feel like it takes all of the punch out of a scene and just completely obliterates the stakes for the entire rest of the movie, because once you introduce resurrection, anyone who dies can be resurrected, and it just kills the movie for me. I'm sorry, I can't. I hate this trope. I hate it so much.
The universe grows smaller every day, and the threat of aggression by any group, anywhere, can no longer be tolerated. There must be security for all, or no one is secure. This does not mean giving up any freedom, except the freedom to act irresponsibly. Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration. We shall be waiting for your answer. The decision rests with you.
Well, that's a powerful metaphor for nuclear warfare if I've ever heard it. Denuclearization. By taking away the nukes, the only freedom that you take away is the freedom to act irresponsibly and get everybody killed. All in all, I really like this movie. I think it's interesting enough to watch, although it does suffer from being just chronically, criminally slow sometimes. Like, there are, like, long shots, like, uninterrupted cuts that are several minutes long, and, like, maybe 50% of, like, the time spent is actual talking. There's so much silence between every spoken word, and I don't understand why. And there's like this subplot, like in the middle of the movie, where like the Watu or whatever his name is just goes on a tour of the local town with a boy. Nothing happens during that sequence. He just sees some places and talks to a boy and also gets uncomfortably attached to a small child. And then it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't reframe his perception of Earth. He already had that perception. It doesn't change his mind on anything. We don't really learn anything new about the character. It's just many, many minutes of nothing happening. But all in all, I think taken as a whole, and given the Cold War context, where everyone was afraid of nuclear power, and the fact that these aliens have nuclear-powered spaceships, you know, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's very impactful and meaningful for both that time and now, because I don't know if you noticed, but nukes haven't gone away, and in fact, you just keep stockpiling more, and if you fire all of them at once, everybody dies. So the message from 70 years ago is still relevant today, which I think is kind of cool. And other than that, I think it's a really well-acted movie, despite the fact that it can be boring at parts. The one thing I like about the long takes and the long silences is when they do say something impactful, they give it room to breathe and give it room to sink in. So you really absorb the message that they're trying to get across, which I appreciate. But yeah, aside from that, it's a good movie. And for about an hour and a half, it briefly made me forget that life support systems are... Oh, the lights are flickering. Yup. Well, I suppose I should eat the perishable food first, because I think the refrigeration unit just cut out. Well, it was nice to forget about my impending doom, if only for an hour and a half. I may or may not see you again in the future, depending on how much longer these systems last. Goodbye.